I think you're one of the gifts to this world.
You're not a loser.
Everybody thinks they're a loser. You could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. Find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial.
Push yourself really hard. Create as many opportunities to find a mate. Get out as often as possible. Accept invitations. Force yourself to go out. Force yourself to meet strangers. Develop the skills. Whenever you're waiting in line at Starbucks, talk to the person in front of you. Talk to the person behind you. Develop the skills to begin opening.
Now let me give you the secret. If you will change, everything will change for you. To have more, you simply have to become more. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills.
Whatever you do is creating a habit, but you're cognizant of the habit you create. Then you're only giving yourself an opportunity to manifest the very best of your future. You're giving yourself the opportunity for success. You're giving yourself the opportunity to pick up what the universe is putting down. Being cognizant of the habits that you're creating. Put your feet on the floor. Make sure the sun don't beat you up. Those simple things right there give you the opportunity to see the fullness and the greatness of yourself.
What's the purpose of growth? You have to grow to experience and see all of life. What if they were sometimes completely separate experiences? You could see it as many things. You could see it as experiencing life fully. You could see it as enjoyment. I'm just curious, what would happen if enjoyment was your focus instead of growth?
Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they produce your future.
Write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for. Every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
The best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. You always want to outwork your potential. As hard as you believe, you can work harder than that.
Once I write it down, I write the vision and make it plain, it will come. Surely it will come at an appointed time. It doesn't matter that nobody sees it. It doesn't matter that it's visible to other people. All you got to do is write it down and believe it.
You gotta be intentional about it. You don't wake up and you just grow. You gotta be intentional about that. You don't wake up and you just become great. You don't wake up and you just start doing things. You gotta be intentional about it. I ain't gonna get up and just let life hit me and I walk out of the door and then now I'm on the emotional roller coaster and I'm all over the place and now I can't catch grips on my dreams, my goals, my aspirations. Now I'm mad at people I shouldn't be mad at because something didn't work out. Nah, bro, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna put on my armor, I'm gonna be intentional about what I want to accomplish, direction I wanna go, and the person I'm trying to become. The best of my ability. Now, does that mean success every single day? Absolutely not. I'm gonna fail probably more than I have success, but I know that already.
It's possible. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible.
Be able to articulate, be able to think, to marshal your argument.
Be a man, made good decisions.
Anyone can deal with the difficult today if they have a compelling tomorrow.
A man is as he thinketh. So if you think positive, positive things will happen to you.
Don't be afraid to try. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't pan out the way that you envision it. But at least you know that by giving it a shot.
There are winners, and there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. Think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you.
When you have a big vision and people will instantly start asking you how you'll do it, don't get caught up with the how, because if you know every step to accomplish your dream, you haven't really dreamed big enough. You should know every step of the way, and you'll have a tendency to walk it back. And so I would say, be unrealistic in your dreams as well.
If you're complaining about your life, you need to look at what you're doing. I'm not happy. I can't find my passion. My shit's not working. I'm not lucky. I don't like my job. I don't have time. I'm unhappy. But people would rather complain than put in the work. If you're unhappy, where are you going?
Just say to yourself every day, it's possible. Just say that every day to yourself, it's possible. It's a manifestation of what we believe, what's possible for us. Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life.
I just dream. I dream. I have dreams, and dreams is they should be pure. I think a lot of times, when we're born into this world, we actually wind up going backwards. And it seems like the more we mature, the more responsible our dreams become, and the more governors we put on ourselves and our ability to dream and to reimagine. And it's always a fight for us parents and for you guys to make sure that your dreams always stay pure. And so it's not a matter of pushing beyond your limitations or expectations. It's really a matter of protecting your dreams, protecting your imagination. That's really the key. And when you do that, then the world just seems limitless.
You have to make a decision if you're going to be a leader or not. But understand what a leader is, though. Sometimes you just really want to be the leader of your own life. You can be a leader, but a leader is a developed set of skills. It's a developed set. Most people don't want the responsibility of being a leader.
When they saw me, they thought now they can do it. So I get up every morning at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Why? Because greatness is upon me. Dr. King is dead. Malcolm X is dead. I'm that new guy. I'm that new inspiration. I'm the guy you look at when your daddy ain't in your life, when your daddy in prison. I'm that guy that comes to your high school and tell you, you can make it happen. Greatness is upon you. You better act like it.
The most important skill to create a great quality of life is the skill of leadership. Leadership doesn't mean you tell people what to do and they do it, or that people follow you. Leadership means you live life by your standards, that you won't settle unless you can do, be, share, create, or give. And what makes you a leader is one skill above any other skill. The minute you decide to serve other people, you become a leader, because it isn't about you anymore. It doesn't matter what your position is in a company or in your family. The decision to truly serve, where it's not about you, gives you an energy and a power that most people don't have. But then the second thing is there's a skill to leadership. And the most important skill of leadership is influence.
Maybe someone's don't like me, but because maybe I'm too good. I don't know why.
In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people are thinking, what they say. I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
When you're struggling, when you're suffering, and when nothing is going right in your life, it's meant for you. It's meant to build the character needed to become the person that deserves what God is about to give you.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control.
I think when you're growing up, you always feel out of your body. You're looking in the mirror to confirm your identity or to shred your identity or to hate yourself. And, I think that's probably the most challenging period in life when you're truly a fish out of water. But the brilliance in that too is then you can kind of search for your identity, search for what makes you feel grounded.
You have to define what the input is that's going to get you the output you want. Now, once you know what that input-output is, the next one is, why aren't you doing it, right? And so I think a lot of people are looking for something that is very hard to find. And then they attribute their lack of success or lack of action because they don't have passion or motivation.
Learn to act on stage. Don't rely on social media. Put it down, turn it off, shut up, be quiet, learn, get better. First part of your life, you learn. Second part of your life, you earn. Third part of your life, you return.
It's time to get back to work. It's not about the money at all. It's just about the hard work. And it's that challenge that you can't find sometimes by going to the gym. or about running a 100-mile race. It's that new challenge of like, hey, and then you get done digging, all right, you worked 17 hours, 16, 17 hours, right there on the floor, right there on the ground, get up, dig some more. You know, be out there 2-3 weeks sometimes, man, it's doing that shit. And there's great satisfaction in the kind of work that you do out there. No one's watching. It's hard, dangerous work. And, you know, you're doing it to help shit out, man. You're not giving up yet. You're not done yet. Not today. You're not done today.
The young men really need to hear this more, I think. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it. So a man who's capable of aggression but has it under control is a way more useful man than one who cannot do that.
Use what you have. And a lot more people have pain. A lot more people have anger. A lot more people have shame. And if you can use that as your gas in the beginning, you'll eventually get to a point where you can get out of that loop and then find something that you are really passionate about. But if you can't tie your shoes, you can't lift the weight, you can't send the DM, then you have to start with whatever you have.
When you go to the gym and you start lifting weights, well, your body's going to transform, but it's not going to do that if you just sit around. You have to face your being with the necessity of transformation, and then all sorts of new things that you had no idea you were capable of will make themselves manifest. Those are the dragons, you know, the ones that stand in the path that leads to the light. And you have to say to yourself, I will do good nonetheless. Everyone great makes that decision.
There are people who are wantrepreneurs and entrepreneurs.
Make that decision because maybe you're great.
So you gotta go to work.
You shouldn't feel guilty. It's your turn. It's your time.
You gotta get up, you gotta go do what you gotta do.
You know what to do. You know who you need to be. Now you need to pray for the drive to get it done. You gotta find your why, and your why is what's gonna start you.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what the fuck you're doing. You can't just fucking quit. Remember this, this isn't a hobby, this isn't a fucking joke, it's a fucking lifestyle. The whole thing is this, don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Stay hard.
If there's something you want to do, take action. Do it now.
It's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten when you're faced with all those issues and all those problems and they all hit you at the same time. But let me tell you, that doesn't mean give up. In fact, it means the opposite.
You can't afford to be depressed. You got to pay the bill.
We don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next, and we know that. We've had the rug snatched out from under us. If there's something in your heart that you want to do, listen to me. Do it now.
Well, you know why people quit? People don't have pride in what they do. You know why people stop? They're selfish and it's just about them. But when you have a bigger purpose to why you're doing what you're doing and you want to honor the sacrifices that others have made for you, it's nothing for you to keep going when you hit adversity. If every decision and choice you make is just about you, at a certain point you're going to hit something that's a lot tougher than you that's going to make you quit because you don't have a driving force for why you do what you do.
It won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges that you face, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in, line up those problems and confront them, face them, fight them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you.
Listen to me very closely. The reason why you got to be the best in the world because they treat you differently when you're not. The reason why you have to be your best version because if you're not your best version, they treat you differently.
Rob the cemetery of your gifts, of your dreams, of your talents, of your art, of your book, of your leadership. Rob the cemetery. Don't take that stuff with you to the grave. God didn't choose you out of 400 million people to just come here, pay bills, die, and take that stuff with you. No. You are here for a purpose. to make the world a better place, to do the greater work. So you got to get an attitude, because in order to live your dreams, you've got to be focused, clear what you want, and you got to take action.
The productivity requires aim, orientation, responsibility, discipline, that willingness to work, that willingness to make sacrifices, which is the hallmark of maturity in the service of a higher goal. It orients you solidly in the world if you do that, and it gives you a dragon to fight.
Motivation doesn't really mean what we think it means. We think it means that we're fired up to do something. We think that it means we're eager and passionate to make something happen. And we think that somehow we should just be able to turn on that eagerness and turn on that passion. But we can't. Because you just can't turn on passion. You can't just turn on the desire to execute a task.
You are a part of something bigger than yourself.
I can see myself continuing success. Never allow my fear to limit me. I'll figure out how to get past it. I think the thing that you should be afraid of most would probably be being alone.
If you don't own something, you're not the boss. You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom.
You choose what you're looking for, because what you look for, you find. That's how fucking life works. You know, being successful takes several different variables. I think self-awareness is number one. If you don't know yourself and you don't know what you're good at, you've got no shot, because you're gonna be spinning your wheels. I think work ethic is at the top. Nobody watching this right now knows anybody that's successful at all that hasn't put in serious amounts of work. Very quickly, I can tell you, you need to get every voice out of your head besides yourself, and you need to love yourself. Yeah. You will win. Can't live your life based on other people's point of view.
Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what's using my life? We are today what we were when. We, to a great extent, behave, think, react because of some previous experience that we've had.
Starting to move in the right direction, starting to move starts to solve problems, and it starts to solve emotional problems as well. Get up, start to move, start to figure out how you're going to address some of these problems.
Accept the rules and move on into the rules. So the world will try and tell you who you are, and you have to tell yourself who you are.
Learn the work ethic and the skills that match your ambition. You get to live life one time, and this is the time right now to understand what's actually happening and actually map your behavior to something that will impact you for the next 80 years.
How you doing, man? It's gonna be a great day. How you feeling? Hey, man, it's gonna be a great day.
It's not going to leave you until you grow through it. I was going through a major challenge in my life that was wearing me out, that was using me. Lessons in truth. Less until you handle it with grace, it will stay in your face.
The only way you grow is to look at yourself, how you can get somewhere and how it looks. And say, okay, like I did. It's every day of your life just doing. No passion, no discipline. I just fucking did. I just did. I said, maybe at the end of this journey, there'll be something there for me.
When you have 5, 6, 7 emotional things that are dragging you down, prioritize and execute. Okay, what's the biggest issue that I have right now? How can I start to address that? What can I do to get to a better place with that particular issue?
I'm number one in the world. One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life. And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs, but during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is.
Today is your day. Just get it out your spirit. Get it all out your system so you can move forward.
Make this note. Don't become a victim of yourself, even if you have to fight the enemies that are within yourself. Forget the thief in the alley that's after your purse. What about the thief in your mind that's after your promise?
The greatest people on the planet have suffered the most. Suffering is not bad. I'm suggesting suffering is awesome. The ego runs from suffering because it's the death of the ego. But I believe pain, difficult times, failure, loss is purification and preparation for personal heroism.
Hey, guess what? Make it your mission in life. It's going to be the hardest thing you ever did. Along the way, you're going to lose all your fucking friends. You're going to struggle. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be multiple fucking days where you don't think that you're going to make it. And those days sometimes last for months. There's going to be, nobody's going to relate to you. No one's going to understand why you're doing it. Everybody's going to question it. They might laugh at you now. Everybody laughed at me back in the day. Fucking everybody. Guess who's laughing now? Not them, motherfucker. Me.
That reframing the way you're looking at things and seeing opportunities instead of seeing punishments, and instead of seeing downturns in your life, seeing opportunities, it's just going to have such a much better impact on the way where you get to.
Just do. You're living. How do you want to live? How do you want to die? How do you want to fucking be remembered? That's it. That's it.
Here is the secret to ending your suffering. Trade your expectations for appreciation, and your whole life will change in that moment. The minute you appreciate something, your suffering is gone. It's just your expectations that are stressing you out. And sometimes not meeting your expectations will cause you to come up with a new way to grow, or a new way to do something that's better than what you did before. What would your life be like if you made this decision today for real? Screw everything else. We've got a million other things we're going to do to improve your life. What if you really made a real decision? You said, I am not suffering anymore. Life is too short to suffer. I'm going to live in a beautiful state. I'm going to have a good time every day, no matter what.
Don't expect others to give you what you give them, right? Like, one of the biggest things that I'm now very comfortable with understanding is my heart is different, and the energy attached to making others feel good or to put others in a position to do good is a high level energy. And just because you have that, it doesn't mean that other people should. Everybody operates differently, right? And everybody shows their love or shows their value or shows their commitment differently.
Yeah.
So I took the pressure off of others when I stopped expecting you to do what I do or to work the same way that I would.
Whatever you believe, you're going to live. A new set of appreciations, and suffering is over. Remember, there's an old phrase, it says, don't sweat the small stuff. And the second rule is, it's all small stuff, right? What would life be like if all the things you get frustrated by or stressed about or worried about, if you just wouldn't indulge in them anymore? If you started to, you'd catch it within 30 seconds or less and snap out of it and find yourself focusing on something you could appreciate, or something you'd love, or something you're grateful for, or someone you love. If you were to train your mind and heart and body to live in a beautiful state every day, no matter what, how much more magnificent would your life be? How much more joy would fill your body? Because when you're grateful, suffering disappears, doesn't it?
What brought you there? What role did you play? Earl Nightingale had a saying I like. He said, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. What has brought you to this point? What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Somebody said that insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it?
What controls the quality of your life?
It's your life, and you can't wait for nobody else to make it right.
You can't wait for nobody else to fix you. You can't wait for nobody else to mature. You can't wait for nobody else to get to that part in their life where they come. You can't wait. You gotta fix this. It's something in your heart. You made up in your mind because of the way things went down. You made up in your mind to be bitter. You had options. You chose bitter. You chose angry.
Now you hurting yourself. You done dropped out of school. You living in an abandoned building. Son, you killing yourself. You've allowed this thing to destroy you inside out. I can't let you I need you to go and just take care of it. Do whatever you need to do, but get your butt to that house.
Can I do that?
What I think also freak stands for is that a guy from nothing became everything.
Part of my motivation when I was growing up was having nothing. I knew that if I ever had an opportunity to make it in life, I wanted to provide the next generation for things that I didn't have. The dream was always trying to find a way to continue to empower and infuse life.
Whatever discipline they decide to go into, whether it is volleyball or basketball, or whether it's being an accountant or being a writer or whatever the case may be, the same principles apply. The discipline, the dedication, the attention to detail, the unselfishness, right? All that stuff is there.
Am I a bad person? Tell me. I'm single-minded. I'm deceptive. I'm obsessive. I'm selfish. Does that make me a bad person? I have no empathy. I'm never satisfied. I have an obsession with power. What's mine is mine. I think I'm better than everyone else.
Don't exist secret here. The secrets don't exist. Exist hard work, dedication, be obsessed to be something in a life, and follow their dreams. I think if you want to be a football player, or if you want to be engineer, or whatever you want to be, dedicate yourself, work hard, and believe in you.
When the dust settles, you'll know you've given more than anyone. Chase down every game, shot, and put it all on the line at every second of your life for one more win.
Anything it can be, work hard. I think it's the main work and the dream, to believe in that everything is possible in a life. Well, it's dedication and hard work. This is my words, to dedicate myself 100% every time to be the position that I am today. It's not 1 year, it's 10 years, 12 years, to maintain my level. It's making me feel proud.
No, tomorrow. We must not stop. We must not surrender. We must not quit. We must not give in. Find difficulty and I want you to go after it. The way you're going to separate yourself from everybody else is not to do what everybody else is doing. You have to find difficult and you have to master difficult, because when you master difficult, you separate yourself from everybody else.
We face the difficulties of today and tomorrow. I still have a dream.
Being successful is hard. Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time. No one's born being good at all things. You become good at things through hard work.
There need to be things that inspire you. There need to be things that make you glad to wake up in the morning and say, I'm looking forward to the future.
And you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you can learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together.
You learn nothing from success. Nothing. You learn everything from the failures. And this is the thing that annoys me about the state that the world is in at the moment, is no one talks about failure anymore. It's like shame. Like failure is shame. And it's like, oh, let's just bury that and not talk about it. No one goes, oh, what do we learn from this? Whereas with success, everyone shouts about it. But there's nothing in success. Success happens from failing.
Michael Jordan once said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed.
If you want to take your business to the next level, you have to stop doing what everybody else is doing. You have to stop doing what's comfortable. You have to stop doing what's convenient. And you got to find difficult. And you got to wake up every day and do difficult until you master it. And once you master difficult, you separate yourself from everybody else. Who's ready to do difficult? Who's ready to separate themselves from everybody else?
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
Why do we force it? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Each person's income is determined primarily by their philosophy, not by the economy. Once I understood that, then I said, well, I don't have to go to work on the economy. And the answer was no. You only have to go to work on yourself to make yourself more valuable. Because it doesn't take but a few ideas to make a great difference in your income, personal life, social life, and all the rest.
Take this to heart. That next time you're stressed, ask yourself, is it a tragedy or an inconvenience? It's almost never a tragedy. I failed the test, I got, dented the car, I missed the bus, whatever it is, so what? And so, you take a deep breath and come back to yourself and realize that most of the things that make us crazed are unnecessary. You get a lot of this as you get older, but I teach my students this early on. Why wait? Why wait to recognize that you're the one who's almost always your worst enemy?
Smile because it confuses people. Smile because it's easier than explaining what is killing you inside. I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve in a world that's lost its way. They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same. We stopped checking for monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside us.
Mercy is for the weak. We do not train to be merciful here. A man face you, he is enemy. Enemy deserve no mercy.
I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. Process of working on your dreams. You are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain, a lot of setbacks, a lot of defeats. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. What you will realize is that you have greatness within you. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine.
I have discovered in my ministry that many times people are actually in mental anguish because they are worried to death about what other people think about them.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. If you don't fail, you're not even trying.
They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out like a leopard. As you know, madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do. And people are starting to notice.
This is my year to accomplish dreams, to break free from this depression. This is my year to meet the right people. This is my year to get healthy and whole. This is your year to see double. This is your year for vindication, for restoration, for new beginnings. Now get your mind going in the right direction.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Well, the truth is, sometimes I do get a little scared, Then there's another side that comes out that isn't so scared. It's another side that wants to take more, and wants to go that one more round. Because going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life.
Once you identify your gift, you have got to write this information down. If you do not have a vision board, if you don't have a dream list, I am telling you, you are complicating your process to getting what you want in life. You're complicating it because you are missing, because maybe nobody ever told you, or maybe you don't think that it applies to you, but a simple principle of success is that it has to be written down somewhere.
Why don't you stand up and fight this guy hard like you done before? That was beautiful.
I've been fighting my whole life. I ain't got a choice.
If you were to take that state of being unmotivated, of procrastinating, and actually do something that's harder than being in that amotivated state, in other words, doing something that's more effortful, even painful, you can rebound yourself out of that dopamine trough much more quickly.
No matter how much you improve, no matter how much you change who you are, it's not permanent. You just wake up and say, you break records, you do this, you do that. People want to know, how are you able to just be so hard?
So what do you do with the people who just are lazy and they don't want to help themselves?
Yeah.
And they're there.
They are not lazy. They're lost. Lazy is a symptom. The source of the laziness is they're lost.
We are how we think. You can't make a world, but you can make your own world.
I'm gonna grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power. Every single day, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Winners win and losers lose.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
So you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
How do you create your life? You get hungry for something, don't you? Who has done something in your life that once seemed difficult or impossible, and now it's part of your life? How did you do it? You created it 3 ways. Number 1, you decided there's something you wanted so bad that you unleashed all your desire. You became obsessed with it. If there's something you once envisioned and now it's real, it's because you didn't just envision it, you brought so much emotion to it that now it's in your life. It was once a dream, it was once a goal, and now it's in your life. How do you want to live? Stop just waking up like an accident. What do you want? And then once you find out what you want, spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after it.
I'm gonna get that $1 million tomorrow. No, actually, you're not gonna get that $1 million tomorrow. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work for a long time. You're gonna have to work hard. You're gonna have to stay focused on your goals, and then you'll get your $1 million. That's it. Deal with reality, accept reality, then find the good in it, and move forward.
How bad do you want to be successful? When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
You see this guy here is staring back at you?
Yeah?
That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
Until you make a decision that you no longer want to feel how you feel, or you no longer want to think the way that you think, or you no longer want to have the kind of results or no results that you have, until you make that decision that, you know what? I know I don't feel great. I know I doubt myself. I know I've had a lot of bad things happen. I know there's a lot that I regret, but damn it, with the time that I have left in my life, I really want to start to enjoy myself. I want to take better care of myself. I want to feel happy. You've got to start there. You've got to start with wanting something better for yourself.
Why pay the price? Why work this hard? Why go this far? Why try to learn this much? Why try to do it all? Why try to see it all? Why try to have it all? Why do it? Why learn it? Why study? Why put yourself out? Why try to take on this much responsibility? Why develop yourself to the full? Why try to become all that you can possibly become?
The main point is this should coming from inside you. You should be proud of yourself and look in the mirror and say, listen, I give everything. And I think all of us, we should do that. Change the page. We have many things to win. We have to believe on that. If not, will be a nightmare.
Wherever focus goes, energy flows. You envisioned something, you got clear about it, and then you started thinking about all the reasons why you wanted it. You got excited about it. Said, this is what's next for me now. I want this. You may have dreamed about it, thought about it, talked about it. But when you focus on something continuously, something magical happens. You get insights, don't you?
Basically, two kinds of people in life. They're winners and they're losers. And the definition is this. Losers take things that happen to them and that they feel inside that suck, and they wallow, and they use it for self or outward destruction. Winners take whatever they feel it, it sucks, and they transmute it into things that are good for themselves and for the world. Period. End of story.
You've got to have your own list of whys. Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. And if the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
Why we don't believe that we can do it better? We have to believe, we have to be positive to try to change the things. This is why we have to, we're not going to give up. You know, the only give up is the guys who is weak mentally.
Best thing I ever did was stop telling everyone what's going on in my life. Not everyone needs to know my struggles, my plans, or my wins. I owe no one an explanation. My silence is my weapon, and my privacy is my fortress. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them talk. I don't care. People aren't against you. They are for themselves. Climb mountains, not so the world can see you, but so you can see the world. You learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. The most dangerous risk of all is the risk of spending your life not doing what you want on the bet that you can buy yourself the freedom to do it later. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated.
The past is in your head, but the future is in your hands. You can either keep whining and be a pathetic loser, or you can be a G and become the most successful person your bloodline has ever seen. Don't call me lucky. I failed more times than you tried.
There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse.